Hi, I'm Charlie Cook with Village Toastmasters in Sturbridge, Massachusetts. I'm working on the Communicating on Video manual. This is project number 5, Instructing on the Internet. What I'm going to be talking about is how to prepare for a speech. But it's really not that hard, and it's not as much work as you think, or it's at least not as much as I put into it. So what I'm going to talk about is how you can prepare for a speech and how you can be ready when you have to give a speech, whether it's for work or whether it's for Toastmasters or for a presentation that you need to do. What I'm calling this is 10 tips and techniques to tackle to turn a timid toastie into a terrific Toastmaster. The first step is pick a topic. You can pick any topic at all while you're here at Toastmasters. You can talk about good vacations. You can talk about bad vacations. That's fine too. You can talk about how you'd like to visit the pyramids. You can talk about how you would like to climb Mount Everest. Or you can talk about your ultimate goal, which is to get a good night's sleep. The next step is the trifecta. The trifecta is 3 things that you need to talk about during your speech. It's kind of like 6th grade English, because you pick out your topic sentence and then you pick out some supporting sentences. And you can go on and use a lot of descriptions and a lot of great words in those supporting sentences, but there are 3 things that you want to talk about in your speech. Step number 3 is get to the body. Get to the body of your speech. Maybe you are much better at writing, so you want to write your speech out. Maybe you're a talker. You are in Toastmasters. And what you can do is you can talk your speech out. I've got a little voice recorder that I use, and I talk my speeches while I'm in my car. Then I go home and I type them out. And then after I have them typed out, I can cut and paste everything that I need to move it around and to put it in a much better order. Tip number 4 is the opening and the closing. It's always good to have a good, strong opening, something to get people's attention to say, hey, listen, I'm doing a speech, you need to pay attention. The next part is the closing. Somebody once said the best speeches are when you tell people what you're going to tell them, you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. So the closing needs to wrap everything up. It's like a recap of everything that you've talked about. Tip number 5 is to add techniques. Add vocal variety. Add vocal variety. You can add facial gestures. You can add body gestures. However, you don't want to look like a third base coach. Some people like to add statistics. Did you know that 73% of statistics are all made up on the spot? The other 27 were made up beforehand. Tip number 6. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, man. Practice. When I was in high school, I used to stand in front of a mirror and pretend I was Jimi Hendrix. Now that I'm a Toastmaster, I stand in front of a mirror with a hairbrush and practice my speeches. I haven't really gone that far. But you need to practice your speech. Practice it in the car. Practice it with your spouse. Practice it with your kids. Practice it with your pets and see how your pets respond. Repetition is the key to success. So you want to practice your speech over and 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 over again. You want to make sure you know it cold, because there's going to be a chance, and there's a real good chance, that you're going to forget it. Tip number 7 is use of notes. Some people write their speech out and they'll stand up at the lectern and they will read it word for word, and then they will not know their speech. Some people like to use the 3x5 index cards and they put bullet heads on there. They just put the main things that they want to talk about. They've practiced their speech a lot and they know what the main points are. I like to call those guideposts instead of bullet heads, because they guide you on the path that you need to be on and they keep you from straying off to one side or too far to the other. Some people like to cheat a little bit, and I may have been known to cheat once or twice. If you use visual aids, if you use a PowerPoint, or if you use a handout, you can use that as your notes to steer you in the right direction. And there's nothing wrong with that. Tip number 8, dress for the speech. If you're going to give a speech about a sporting event that you did, maybe one of these mud runners or warrior dashes or something, wear the shirt that you wore, wear the clothes that you wore, wear the garb that you wore. Make sure you wash it. If you're going to wear some special clothes or some special outfit for your speech, make sure you can do everything in your speech in that clothes. You don't want to be Matt Foley. He was the motivational speaker that Chris Farley played. He ripped his jacket one time. That would be bad. Topic number 9 is write your intro. We have 3 types of people. We have the people that have a standard intro for every speech that they do. We have people that write a new introduction for every speech that they do. And we have people who write no introduction for every speech that they do. The last group of people actually keep the Toastmaster on top of their game so that they'll have to come up with an impromptu speech, which is what we learn at Table Topics. And number 10, enjoy. You see the smiley face? This is the time where you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor for all the work that you put in on your speech. I like to think of speeches like a Thanksgiving dinner. It takes hours and hours and hours of preparation, and in 7 minutes, you want a piece of pie, you want to put the football game on, and you want to take a nap. These are the top 10 tips and techniques to tackle to turn a timid toastie towards a terrific Toastmaster. I know that if you use these 10 tips and techniques, that you are going to have a great speech the next time you have one at your club.